Automation sounds so powerful, right? I mean, the whole idea of having a bot that just does your work for you 24/7, never gets tired, it's pretty much the dream.
But let's be real. For most of us who've tried to set something like this up, the reality is a little different. The setup is a total nightmare, the bot gets confused by the simplest things, or, it just flat out breaks. The promise is huge, but actually making it work, that's often a massive headache. And that's exactly where a tool like Clawdbot comes into the picture. It's built to solve that specific problem.
So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. We're going to get a clear understanding of what Clawdbot actually is, why it even exists, and how it's being used in real systems right now.
Welcome to AI Tech Cheat Code, where we make complex tech simple. Let's get right into it and break this down step by step.
All right, first up, the problem with manual work. So let's start right at the beginning. Why do we even need a tool like this? What's the problem we're trying to fix? Well, it really just comes down to the daily grind of all our digital work.
I mean, just think about your own workday for a second. It's probably filled with all those little repetitive tasks, right? Sorting emails, updating project boards, stuff like that. Then you've got the slow response times, just waiting for someone to get back to you. And maybe the worst part, that constant mentally draining context switching between a million different apps. So much of our day depends on a human, you, physically being there, clicking away. And it's exactly this friction that tools like Clawdbot are designed to just get rid of.
Okay, so what is Clawdbot? The best way to wrap your head around it, and this is an analogy that comes straight from the people who use it, is to think of it as your very own 24/7 AI employee. Seriously, it's not just some simple script, it's designed to be way more than that. Okay, picture this. Imagine you take one of those super powerful AI models, like the brains behind Claude or ChatGPT, but instead of it just being stuck inside a little chat window, you give it eyes to see your screen, you give it hands to control your keyboard and mouse, and then you basically sit it down at its very own computer. That right there is the core idea behind Clawdbot. Now, the fancy technical term for this is agentic AI. And all that really means is you've got an AI system that doesn't just respond to you. No, it acts autonomously. It can perform a whole series of complex, multi-step actions all by itself to achieve a goal that you've given it. And believe me, that is a huge leap from just asking an AI to, write a quick paragraph.
And really, this is the key difference. In the manual process, you have to do every single little step. With an agent like Clawdbot, you just set a high-level goal. You might say something like, find the top 5 customer complaints from this week's support tickets and give me a summary. The bot then goes and figures out everything else, how to access the tickets, how to read them, how to pull out the complaints, and how to create that summary, all on its own.
So how does this automation actually think? I know it can sound kind of like magic, but I promise you it's not. There's a really clear, logical flow for how these bots operate. Let's break down how this AI thinks using a simple 4-step flow.
Pretty much all automation follows this basic loop. First, something has to kick it off. That's the trigger. An event happens, like a new email lands in your inbox. Second, the bot applies its logic and rules, the instructions you gave it, and analyzes the event, asking questions like, is this from a VIP customer or does the subject line have the word urgent? Third, based on those rules, it takes an action, like maybe drafting a reply. And finally, it delivers a response, like sending that draft over to you for a quick approval. So it's always trigger, logic, action, response. That's the core of how it all works.
Okay, let's get into the fun stuff. Clawdbot in the real world. I mean, the theory is great and all, but what does this actually look like when you put it to work? We're going to dive into 3 really powerful use cases to see how people are using this today.
First up, we've got use case number 1, the automated researcher. This one is perfect for those tasks that are super high value, but man, are they time consuming, like trying to figure out what your customers really want. So check out this workflow. It's so simple. The trigger is just the user sending a voice command on Telegram saying, research what users want from our product on Reddit. Boom. The bot kicks into gear. It opens a browser, it starts searching all the right Reddit communities, it reads through tons of comments, and it synthesizes all of those findings. And the final response? The bot emails you a perfectly structured report with bullet points, key insights, and even links back to the original posts. A task that would take a person hours is just done, autonomously.
All right, use case number 2, the proactive project manager. This one is a little different. It's less about those big research projects and more about managing, well, you.
It's all about keeping you accountable and on track every single day. And what's really cool about this one is the trigger. It's not you doing something, it's a scheduled job. So every morning at 8:30 a.m., boom, the bot proactively messages you and asks for your top 3 priorities for the day. It then takes your answer and logs it in a project management tool like ClickUp. Then at 10 p.m., it follows up, asking what you got done and updating the task status. It basically becomes your personal accountability partner, and you never even have to ask it to.
And for our third and final use case, let's look at something really powerful: the automated social media team. This is where Clawdbot can manage an entire creative workflow, basically from start to finish. Now, this is a fantastic example of how you can connect different services together. So the trigger is when you publish a new long-form video to YouTube. As soon as that happens, the bot grabs the video and sends it over to a service like Opus Clips to automatically find the most viral-worthy short clips. Then it generates a bunch of shorts from that one video. And finally, it schedules and posts those clips to TikTok, Instagram, X, you name it. It's a completely hands-off content repurposing machine. Hey, if this is making sense so far and you're seeing just how powerful this tech can be, do me a favor and give the video a quick like. It really does help out.
So what's the catch? I mean, all of this sounds absolutely incredible, right? Almost too good to be true. And you know what? This is the exact point where most automation bots fail in the real world. All of this power comes with some pretty significant risks, and you absolutely cannot ignore them. All right, this brings us to a super important section: common mistakes and big risks. I'm not kidding, this is probably the most crucial part of this whole explainer. We're going to go over the common pitfalls and the very real dangers so that you can avoid them.
And I want to kick this off with a quote directly from the Clawdbot official FAQ. It says, "Running an AI agent with shell access on your machine is spicy." And then it says, in bold letters, there is no perfectly secure setup. The creators are being super upfront here. They're telling you, you are giving an AI full control over your computer. And that, by its very nature, is risky.
Okay, mistake number 1. Expecting this thing to have human-like intelligence without any setup. See, the problem is, an AI has zero real-world context for things we take for granted, like time zones or dates. There was this great example where a user asked their bot to manage a family calendar. The result? Total chaos. It scheduled every single event on the wrong day. Why? Because it has no intuitive grasp of time zones. So the lesson is huge. Vague commands lead to chaos. The bot is only as smart as the precise rules you give it. Mistake number 2 is a big one: ignoring monitoring and updates. The bot has full access to your computer. That means it can read your files, it can run commands, it can control your browser, all without asking you first. The risk here is that bad actors could try to trick your AI or socially engineer it to get access to your data. So the lesson is this: you have to treat it like a new employee. That means you should probably isolate it on its own dedicated machine or at least a separate user account, and you need to monitor its actions. You can't just set it and forget it.
And that brings us to mistake number 3, over-granting permissions. It's so easy to do. When the AI asks for access, it might just request access to everything by default: your email, your files, your contacts, the whole shebang. There's a story of a user who found this out. The bot asked for full control of their entire digital life just to schedule a calendar event. So the user pushed back, and you know what? The bot just needed read-only calendar access. That's it. The lesson here is to always question the permissions it asks for. Start with the absolute minimum it needs to do its job and only grant more if it's truly necessary.
All right, let's do a quick final recap. We covered a lot of ground, so let's lock in the key takeaways.
Okay, here's your Clawdbot cheat sheet. First, Clawdbot is an agentic AI. Think of it like a digital employee that automates tasks for you. Second, it can seriously cut down on your manual work, whether that's research or managing projects. Third, and this is so important, the quality of your setup, your rules, and your logic matters way more than the AI hype. And finally, constant monitoring and solid security practices are totally non-negotiable. They're what keep your bot reliable and safe.
In the next video, we're actually going to see how Clawdbot stacks up against some of the other automation tools out there, so you can get the full picture.
And hey, if you liked this content and you learned something new today, please hit that subscribe button and maybe share this video with someone you think would find it useful. Thanks for watching.